problem of transforming Indian traditions, or let's say Hinduism, into a variety of Protestantism is not merely a problem of intellectual or emotional issue. I think it also is going to have social consequences of a disastrous type. Like if the NRI parents in the United States create fictitious moral codes based upon Protestant examples, have these compulsory Sunday schools, and force the children to go to this or that temple, do this or that puja, learn this or that Sahasranamam, and so on. Now, to some it might work, but to many it's going to have an alienating effect, because when they grow up, and in the process of growing up, one thing they will not be able to do is to defend their own traditions in a Protestant form, in a theological form, because Indian traditions are not like that. So what's going to happen, I think, if NRI parents do not give much considerable thought to this, is that they will end up alienating an entire generation of Indians from being part of the Indian traditions. Now, perhaps I can give you a small example. You see, my mother was a very, very orthodox Brahmin woman who used to spend 3 days of every month outside, not really the house, but in the corner of a house. But what she did was, in the 1960s and 70s, in Bangalore, when it was not as industrialized as it is today, she felt that such practices were no more suited for modern day, and she abolished it for her own daughters. Now, this is not simply the story of my mother. This is what has been the case with the Indian traditions throughout the centuries and the millennia. It has continuously adapted itself, has been found flexible, it could adapt to any needs it confronted, and today the NRI Indians are confronting a new environment, a new set of needs in the United States of America. So they need to be flexible and adapt themselves, and not try and rigidly codify, even though even such Hinduism has its place in the Indian traditions, but they should not rigidly codify Hinduism into some version of Protestantism. To them, I think I'd like to say only one thing. Trust yourself. Trust the Indian tradition in which you're born. You have been born in it for 20 years or 30 years. Trust yourself to transmit it in a flexible way to your own children. Because if we don't do that, your children are lost forever. An entire generation, not only alienated from India, but also from her tradition, from her culture, from her collective memory.